So Chance the Rapper dropped his album The Big Day the same day that NF dropped his album The Search on July 26th. Only difference is that Chance dropped his album around noon and NF dropped his at midnight. So NF has about 12 or so hours more time to be tracked than Chance, but that's not really a lot of time. Point is that Friday was a very, very, very competitive day for music. There was a lot of hip-hop artists that dropped their music on Friday, which obviously included NF and Chance the Rapper. But going into the projections for first week sales, everyone was assuming that it would be NF and Chance the Rapper being at the number 1 and number 2 spots. The only thing is that everyone was expecting Chance the Rapper to go number 1 and have a little bit of a lead, if not a substantial lead, over NF coming in at number 2. That is what everyone was expecting starting Saturday when they started doing projections on July 27th. As the week went on, Chance's projections started to go up a bit, and NF's kind of laid behind for about 2 days, and then he started getting big upgrades to his projections. Now, around Monday or something like that, there was a big gap between Chance the Rapper and NF. There's about a 40,000 difference in projections, having Chance the Rapper very high versus NF not too high. At this point, they had NF around the 95,000 suggested range. That's kind of where they had him. But then as the days continued on, NF started picking up a lot of steam, really growing in his projections, and Chance kind of stayed the same. He didn't really grow too much more. He kind of just mellowed out around the 115 to 125,000 range is kind of where they ended up having him for most of the week. But like I said, NF started to grow and grow and grow. Well, here we are. It is now Sunday of the following week. It is August 4th, and we have the official numbers from Billboard 200. Now, of course, Hits Daily Double already released their information, and they suggested that NF would beat, but when you kind of are looking at numbers in the music world, you kind of use Billboard as the benchmark to see what actual official numbers are, because it's just been that way for a long time, and Billboard does a great job. So, Billboard just released their numbers for the week, and it is official. NF has gone number 1 on the Billboard 200, which actually, if any of you don't know, this is actually his second and consecutive album at number 1 on the Billboard 200. His album from 2017, Perception, which later on went to go platinum, did number 1 that week as well. But it was a bit of a surprise when that happened, because in 2017, when he dropped Perception, he only did 55,000 first week sales. It was a bit of an anomaly. There was not much going on in music at the time, and as a result, he was able to get number 1. Now, some will say that, well, he beat Lil Pump, so it's a big deal. At the time, Lil Pump wasn't as big as he is now, but yes, it is true that when NF went number 1, he did beat Lil Pump in the first week sales. They both dropped their projects at the same time. So yeah, pretty cool. But NF with The Search, which is the album that went number 1 this time around, he has done 130,000 in first week sales. That is almost triple what he did with Perception, which, like I said, went 55,000. Now, the reason why this is a bit of a big deal is because the initial projections for NF's The Search had him doing 80 to 90,000. That was the initial projections for the album. That is a 40,000 sales upgrade from the initial projections. Now, the reason why that's also a big deal is because when Perception dropped, the initial projections for that was that he was going to do 43,000 first week sales when they initially projected this back in 2017, which was about 3 days after the album released back in 2017, and he went on to do 55,000 first week sales. So that was a 12,000 sales upgrade. This time around, he did a 40,000 sales upgrade, doing 130,000. Now, 84,000 of that 130,000 were from album sales. This is included with iTunes purchases, Google Play purchases, buying the CD at Target, buying it directly from NF's website, along with getting the merch that was bundled with the album, or getting ticket sales, which was bundled with the album. You could also get it from Amazon Music, was selling it for $3.99 for a couple days, I believe. There was a lot of different areas that you could get the actual full album itself, and that is what those 84,000 sales is from. And on top of that, he did 46,000 sales in streaming, which would be Spotify, Apple Music, things like that. So significantly more in album sales. That's a big deal, especially when we compare it to Chance the Rapper, because like I said, Chance the Rapper went number 2. And Chance, his total numbers ended up downgrading significantly from where they had him. The last projections that they had for Chance the Rapper, I believe, were 130,000. That's where they had Chance the Rapper projected just a few days ago. He ended up finalizing at 108,000. That is significantly under where they had him projected, but that's where he ended up being. So, when it comes to Chance the Rapper's album, he ended up doing so many more streams. The actual streams that Chance did dwarfed NF's by a large margin. 80,000 of the 108,000 that Chance the Rapper did was from streaming, and 27,000 was in actual album sales. So NF completely destroyed in album sales, and Chance completely destroyed in streams, and that has been reflected in Apple Music and Spotify over the course of the week. At the end of the day, NF came in and took the #1 spot completely, hoodwinked everybody in the music industry, and nobody thought it would happen, and it did happen. The only people who thought it would happen were the core NF fans, including myself. I'll be honest, I didn't know if it would happen. I knew that the fans could do it. I knew that we could do it. Because, I mean, the fans were streaming it on Spotify, Apple Music, on multiple devices, on loop, all week, to make sure that we could get NF over the hill, and it happened. So, pretty big deal. This is officially NF's second #1 on the Billboard 200, consecutive, back-to-back, which is a really, really big deal. Also, a quick thing of note, this actually completely destroys Logic's first week numbers for Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I believe Logic ended up doing around 85,000 first week sales for that album, and NF did, according to that, about 45,000 more. So it's a pretty big deal if you ask me, especially considering the fact that NF was an opener for Logic just last year on the Bobby Tarantino versus Everybody tour. Pretty cool if you ask me.